most satisfying thing about the life that you've led so far?
The most satisfying thing about this life is that I've been free to go on the adventure. So recently I've been thinking about photons of light and photons of energy, what a photon is, what an electron is, what a nucleus of an atom, a proton, a neutron, quantum shells of electrons, the release of photons when those collapse. I think about gravity all the time. I think about the notion of something falling. I think about the concept of two atoms of hydrogen coming together. Why? Why does gravity? Now Einstein in 1915 explains general relativity, which includes what gravity does, but it doesn't tell us what gravity is. So I think about things like that. I've been absolutely fascinated with nuclear physics for the past few years, and fascinated because we've got climate change to think about. And the question was nuclear fission? I didn't know, I didn't have any information. And if you don't have any information and you're pro-coal or anti-coal or pro-nuclear or anti-nuclear, you're just spouting religious dogma. That's all you're doing. You don't know anything about it. I'm an environmentalist. And you go, really? What's the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? What percentage of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide? I don't know. Well, don't you think you should know that? Don't you think you should understand what that change is and what it means? It is 410 parts per million, up from 32 parts per million. Slightly at the turn of the century in 1900. And this increase in carbon saturation is problematic for the trapping of greenhouse gases, which you do know about. So the life I lead, all I'm interested in is being ferociously curious, understanding why things happen and how they happen. What is the essence? What distills it down? What is the core nucleus? What is the infinitesimal nucleus that the ice crystal forms around? And then I think about that and I think, well, ice crystals. And then I ask, well, I wonder how much ice expands when it goes from liquid to solid. Because obviously it does, because it breaks up all the pipes in your house when your heating system goes out. And I find out, well, it expands 9%. Well, 9% doesn't seem like that much, but of course water's not compressible, so that's going to add a lot of force. Hey, how much force does that expanding water have, that 9%? And the answer is, it's over 50,000 pounds per square inch. And I go, wow, how does a mountain range last 10 years? To say nothing of a couple of 100,000. With that much expansion, crumbling all that granite, I would think it would wear it down right away. But these are just things that I love to think about, and I get to think about because I have an audience.
You brought up climate change.
Yeah.
What role, if any, do you see the arts playing in the big problems that we're facing on this planet today?
Well, that's an interesting question because in many ways I don't. Well, let's just all sing together and we'll have world peace. Okay, it's nice. I'm far too cynical for that. That notwithstanding, what music does for me is as I explore out there in distant thought, as I go to these places and explore these channels, what the music does is it's a matrix that brings me back home. A C triad means I'm safe. Middle C, I got it. I love hearing middle C. Boom. And there, just hear it ring and hear the overtones. Now I come back home. I love it when some executive says, you got to do something new. Don't do something new. If you do something new, they will put you in jail because you will scare them. They don't want new. What people want is the familiar in an unexpected place. That's what they were looking for. They weren't looking for new. And you can give them new, but I suggest you give it in very small doses. And I suggest you have such discipline that they will be safely held. Or in this case of giving them something new that's liable to scare them, held down. No, it's so the music and the art reminds us that familiar things show up in unexpected places, and that we're going to be well.